everyone, welcome back to my video channel. I'm going to try and be a little bit more economical with the time in this video because the previous ones just cut out on me, so I am getting better. It's just work in progress. I thought in this video that I would talk to you a little bit about my day-to-day life, my day-to-day existence, because just to give you like a little snapshot of what I do each day and what my life is like as an autistic person, because you could read like stuff in textbooks and things like that, and it's all very dry and theoretical about like what autistic people are like and all the kind of like, I don't know, the theories and everything. But I think that nothing is better than seeing how someone actually lives their day-to-day life in the real world. So what do I do most days? Generally speaking, I follow a routine. I like routine, I need routine. The world is a very unpredictable, scary place. It is very, very scary. I hate changes, I hate unpredictable stuff. I need things to follow a routine. But of course the world can be, doesn't always adhere to what you want, and that can be very, very anxiety provoking. So constantly I'm always anxious because I never know when the next noise is going to come from, who's going to intrude, who's going to try and stop me from following my routine, and that's all very, very stressful. So anyhow, so what do I normally do? So I usually in the winter, because it takes me quite a long time to get up in the winter because I'm chronically tired. I mean, most days I'm tired because it's so exhausting living my life. So in the dark months of the year, I tend not to really be fully awake until about 10 o'clock a.m. When I'm sort of ready to face the world. I'm often still lying in bed until about, I try and get up at about sort of like 7:45. I'm quite strict to myself. I don't want to still be in bed after 8 o'clock. So I do try and get out of bed by 8 o'clock. But again, what happens is I'm quite bleary-eyed, so I kind of usually go straight over to the computer, turn the computer on, and sort of stare at the screen for a little bit, check my emails, check Facebook, check Twitter. This is all quite reassuring. You know, the world of cyberspace is I always find very reassuring. I do that for a little bit, a while. I can be quite bad at procrastinating, and then it can take me quite. But I still have this routine to follow, and I think that's good because if I didn't have a routine to follow, and if I didn't need a routine, the procrastination wouldn't stop. But because I've got that routine, I do finally think, right, I really need to get out now. I need to follow my routine. So get up, Hannah, get up, and then eventually I will get up. Sometimes a bit later than I would like. So then I have my breakfast, and my breakfast is always more or less, well, it's usually either porridge or shredded wheat or Weetabix or something like that, and a cup of coffee. So I have that. Then I do my teeth, I wash my face, I put on my rough clothes. These are like my lounging around the house clothes, because I have different clothes for different purposes and different activities that put me into a different sort of mind frame. I'll talk about this more in another video. And then my routine is all about reading, because I am a reader. I can read for England. I live in the printed word. I love the printed word. The printed word is where I feel most at home. I just love words, and I've got a wide vocabulary. And in that world of a printed page, this is my space. This is where I can learn information. I can make sense of the world. I can connect to the world. It's all ordered. Nothing really could go wrong within that printed world. So that's where I like to spend a lot of my time. And I try and spend about 2 hours in a morning reading. I find it hard to carry on reading beyond that point because it's really hard to stay focused, and because I do find it really, really hard to concentrate because of all my sensory issues and things like that. It's really, really difficult because it's really hard for me to filter my attention and to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing when there are like noises. And when I'm talking about noises, I don't mean like really loud noises that I guess neurotypicals would be bothered by. I'm talking about really little noises. So consequently I wear headphones and I listen to white noise, and that kind of like channels out the noise and allows me to focus just about. It's still really, really difficult. I also have to whisper the words out because if I'm just staring at a page and I'm just seeing words, I can't focus, I can't take any information, it doesn't make sense, I don't have any comprehension, so I have to whisper out the words. Whisper out the words, like that. in order for it to actually get into my head, and I often have to read a sentence several times before it actually like makes sense. So reading is a really intensive activity, and because it's really really hard work, I'm trying to focus on the text and not let my concentration falter. As I say, so I can't usually read longer than about 2 hours. I feel good if I got to about 2 hours. The sort of books that I read are often sort of very philosophical books, psychological books, because I'm very interested in people. I find people really hard work, but I like to find out about people's lives at one remove through the printed page, where I don't have to deal with all the kind of people stuff that I find difficult, but I can still learn about people at one remove. So I like reading autobiographies. I like reading about other autistic people as well. That's really interesting because it helps me feel more connected and less alone. And I think, there's a very like that as well. That all makes sense now. So yeah, and I do read some fiction, but generally speaking, it's more sort of textbook type books or autobiographies because it's like grounded in reality. But I do read some fiction, but it has to be related to my interest. So if it's got like a philosophical theme, for example, or a historical theme or something like that, or something that I'm particularly interested in at that moment in time, I will read. So after I've done my reading, then I always have my lunch at more or less the same time each day, between about 11:30 to 12:30 max. It's in that time frame, but it's that. But I won't go over that time frame because, as I say, I'm very routinized. So in my normal day-to-day existence, when I'm not doing anything else, that's when I will have my lunch. My lunch does vary each day. Now, this is another interesting topic. I'm not going to be able to cover this in this video because you often think, well, autistic people, they like routines and they like having everything the same. And yes, it's true for me in some areas of my life, and I'll talk about this in another video elsewhere. But in some things that have to be absolutely the same, and I'm really, really finicky about, and some might say a little bit rigid, but that's because of the autism. But in other areas of my life, I actually do like variety. And this goes against maybe what you might think about autism, which again is why it's important to hear from actual people who have autism instead of just reading a textbook, because you could get the wrong idea. Because autism is very varied, and in parts of my life, I need things to be absolutely the same, and I get really really anxious and upset if things change. But again, in other parts of my life, I do like variety, and I think it's because food happens to be one of my special interests. I'm like really really interested in food and nutrition, and I want to eat healthily, so I need to have variety because eating a healthy diet is all about variety. So my lunch time, what I have for lunch will vary, and I do spend a lot of time researching food and nutrition and what I might eat each day. It can be quite stressful as well because anything that involves planning is stressful because I just find planning really hard work because it involves so much activity. It's just really hard work when you're having to deal with everything else. But I do try. So I might have different things for my lunch. Then, after my lunch, I always go uptown to the shops. I go to the same shops. I always go to either Waitrose or M&S because they're the shops that are closest to me and I don't drive, and Tesco's a little bit of a walk away, and they're the shops that I grew up going to, and because that's where routine comes into play. The shops my parents went to when I was young, the shops I was dragged around when I was young, they're the shops I would go to because I'm a creature of routine. I will even, if my dad once bought me something like, say, some detergent or something, I will get the same make of detergent because it just feels safer because that's what I've always bought. So that's where I need sort of things to be the same. Then I'll go to the shops, I'll get my food, and that's, again, I've got a number of recipe books, so I often check goodfood.com for recipe ideas, which is really, really helpful. So I'll go and get my food, and then I'll go for a walk, because I try and get some exercise, that's important. You need to get out into the sunshine, get the vitamin D, because otherwise you might get vitamin D deficient. So, because I'm very health conscious, that's all factored into my routine. So I will ensure I do get some exercise each day, even if it's just, a walk around lunchtime, around the park, and I'll try and power walk, to make sure I do at least get some exercise, because it can be quite hard otherwise to get exercise. And it is important to go for a brisk walk each day. I think the fact I don't drive helps, because otherwise I probably wouldn't get much exercise, but I am forced to go out each day. I shop little and often because that's less stressful. So that takes up some time, and you'd be amazed how much time goes by. And then the afternoons, I usually either write in my journal. I've got so many journals. I write about my existence because that's one way of ensuring everything stays in order. Because otherwise, existence can be quite kind of you can lose touch of things. So I like writing things down. So I'll spend some time writing in my journal. what else do I do? Yeah, writing in my journal. Then I might research cooking ideas so that I can stay on top of what I might be eating the next couple of days, what goes down. I might research the internet. I might read some articles on the internet. I always have my meal at the same time each day. Again, it's been obviously give or take, because obviously if I'm doing other things, sometimes I have to go outside of that routine, but as long as I know in advance, that's okay. But normally, when I'm not doing anything else, my dinner is always between 5 or 5:30 max. That's when I start preparing my food. It can take me quite a long time to prepare, wash up and everything, so I'm often, usually I'm finished eating and washing up by about 7, because it can take me quite a long time to prepare things. I'm not the fastest person. And with my OCD as well, that can make things a little bit harder, because I'm quite fastidious about washing and stuff. And then after about 7, usually I'm like shutting down at that point. I can't really do anything that really involves mental activity after that point. So again, I usually kind of just zone out in front of the computer. Like I might watch YouTube videos, I might kind of like scroll through Facebook, look at Twitter, catch up on things other people are doing. And that's kind of what I do. And then I sort of winding down time between sort of like 9 and 10:30 when I might watch a film, or I might read through some of my old journals before I go to bed, and just chilling out and not really doing anything, or basically just procrastinating or whatever. I always go to bed at the same time every single day. I always go to bed at between 10:30. It's always between 10, within that sort of radius, if you like, depending on how tired I am. But I get really, really stressed if it's any later than 10:40. If it's later than 10:40, I'm getting stressed. So my bedtime is very tightly controlled and very routinized, or I get really, really stressed. I need my sleep. It's partly to do with that. I do need my sleep, because if I don't sleep well, I can't function the next day. I literally can't function. So it's so important for me that I get sleep, possibly more than most people. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up now because I don't want this video to cut out of me. So that's basically my my life in a nutshell. Most days when I'm not doing pre-planned activities, and I will talk about this in greater detail in another video as well, because there are some areas that I want to talk about more in greater detail. I hope you enjoyed listening. Thank you.